Hello, 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 Christmas Flixers. Welcome back to season 5 of Chicks on Christmas Flicks, where we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. I'm KL Brady. Welcome back, everybody. This is the second of a back to back pair of shows. I'm so excited to be here today. Today, we're going to be talking about some more movie news, some more updates, and I'm really excited. But the first thing I got to do is tell you my other testimony story. Okay, so I had two, and I didn't want to tell them all both on the same episode, so I'm going to tell you the second one now. So here's my second of two testimony stories. Okay, if you want to skip this message, please do so now. You can skip forward to Saint Nick shoutouts, and you won't hear this. But for all of you that do want to hear my testimony story, because this is a good one, please listen in. So I have been having some issues at work. I always talk about work. I know it's always like a drag, and I'm always talking about how challenging the times is, but sometimes I'm really having like really challenging times, and I don't know why. Like, I'm a good employee. I go, I get my work done, or get it done early. Like, it's like those are the people like you want to keep. You don't want those people to constantly be miserable. But anyway, I've learned to survive and thrive in it. And I've really grown to be good in my area of specialization, which is management, right? So my company, to their credit now, even with all the boo-hooing that I do know that I'm blessed, and I have been promoted quite a bit. So they trusted me to a greater role with a lot more responsibility. And as part of this new role, right, I was basically kind of the lead on a major deal. So, and the deal was Illions with a B, right? All right. So, they put me in charge. You develop your offer to the customer. The customer evaluates it, and basically whoever gets the best score wins the deal. So we sent our offer to the customer, and after the evaluation, the customer awarded to a competitor. We lost on price and the evaluation of the part that I had to write, right? And I'm telling you, when I tell you I was sick, first of all, I don't like to lose. I am the worst loser on the planet. Like, I don't like to lose. And I definitely don't like to lose when I know I have worked so hard and put so much effort into things, right? So like I said, the worst part for me, not that because we lose stuff all the time, but I didn't want it to be because of anything that I did or did not do. And so the customer basically said that my solution didn't warrant a score, like any score. And I was like, really? Because like I threw everything in the kitchen sink in that, and no score. So imagine that. Imagine me being me in my position. Not a lot of women of color in positions like that. The company entrusted me to this major deal, and I lose. And not only do I lose, but then I don't score. It's so funny that when you win, nobody, like, everybody wants to take credit for the win, right? So everybody's mama would take credit for the win, but when it came to the loss, of course they were looking for a scapegoat, and I became the scapegoat for the loss. I believe, like, nobody's ever directly said anything to me, because I have won like a lot of deals for my company, well into the billions of dollars. So but nobody said it, but you can kind of tell when people start kind of treating you different and stuff. And then you start getting assignments that you've never gotten before, and things just kind of seem off. So anyway, due to a number of factors, my company decided to launch a legal protest, right? And the lawyers got involved. And honestly, I was so tempted to get distraught and just spin around in circles. What could I have done? What did I do? What could I have done differently? What could I have written differently? What could I have added? What could I have subtracted? I was starting to get into that, that kind of vortex of hell, right? Where you just kind of spin around the drain until you like go down the drain, and things get really bad. And I remembered just as I was starting to like get in this mode, I looked up to heaven and I said, I trust you. And I meant it. And like I meant it. I was like, however this works out, I trust you. I trust you to work this out for my good. If I didn't win, there's a reason that I didn't win. If there's something else amiss, it'll come out. Whatever happens. I'll live with it. I'll deal with it. And from that moment, like I kind of just accepted the discomfort. Right? I said I'm going to be a little uncomfortable for a while, but I know there's a reason for this. Everything happens for a reason. And I know I tried my best. During the whole process, right? So anyway, there's been a whole lot of back and forth. And I get to see some of the communications. It's sent down to me so that I can kind of stay in the loop. Anyway, I don't know how this happened. Now, this is something that never happens. The customer ended up accidentally maybe releasing some information to our lawyers that normally would not get released to the lawyers, right? And so the lawyers saw the information and had proof basically that the customer did not score it fairly, right? They gave our competitor credit for things that they didn't give us credit for, and we basically offered the same exact things. So, like I said, I don't know how that information, because it never happened. Like, never happens. That never happens. Ever happens. But it happened in this case. And, like I said, all I know is I put my trust in the Lord to take care of it. And won't He do it? Man, I'm telling you. So, basically, our lawyers wrote back and was like, hey, hey, you didn't score this fairly, and now we have proof that you didn't score this fairly. And so basically, though, it went around to my leadership, and basically now my leadership all knows that, had they scored it fairly, we would have at least equaled, if not beat, the competitor, right, on that part of the offering. So, but it was so funny that, that disclosure of that information, it really only benefited one person, because technically we can still lose even though we got a better score, because we could lose on price. But at least the technical score has to go up, and the technical score really came down to me. And so the only one that really benefited from the disclosure at this point is me and the manager who trusted in me. So my bottom line here is, let me tell you, that was a relief, the biggest relief of my life. I knew something was wrong. I couldn't prove it. And it was out of my hands. It was completely out of my control. There was nothing I could do about it. Spinning around in circles wouldn't have done anything about it. It wouldn't have helped the situation at all. So the bottom line I have for you is just let God fight your battles, okay? Trust your worries to Him. He cares for you. He loves you. He will vindicate you. Give Him the battle. Give the battle over to Him, and then rest. Let it go. Just let it go. Give the battle over to Him and let it go. And really turn your mind to other things in rest, and let your mind rest on that issue, because He's going to work it out on your behalf, right? I truly believe, like I said, God had a hand in either convincing somebody to slip that information to us, or accidentally making it get slipped to us. Whatever happened, hey, I'm not concerned about that, but it really did vindicate me, and it really put me in a true peace. And although I'm thankful for the situation that happened and I'm glad that I was vindicated, I'm more glad that it just reaffirmed that I should just trust, let things go and trust in God. And then, let things happen as they may. It won't always be that great, but it was great this time. Hallelujah. So anyway, I just want to say that stay in peace, take notes, right? But stay in peace. Stay in peace, hand it over. All right, that's all I have to say about that. That's my quick testimony story. So anyway, let's get back to season 5. Like I said, of course, we are coming up on Christmas in July. We've only got about a month before Christmas in July hits. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about that. I have to tell you guys real quick about my DVR story. So I think I started to tell you part of this in the previous episode, and then I didn't finish. But I had like a bunch of Christmas movies and stuff on my DVR. I mean, just movies that I saved that, we don't get to see very often. The 9 Lives of Christmas, Crashing Through the Snow, The Christmas Connection, just all these movies that I love, that I watch over and over and over and over and over again. 12 Dates of Christmas, one of my favorites. Seasons, Greetings, gone. Like so many movies just gone. And what happened is my company decided to my cable company decided to upgrade the boxes, so I had to take all my boxes and turn them in, not realizing that really my stuff that I DVR'd, they don't like maintain that like on a server at Verizon, right? It's really maintained on the boxes. So when you turn the boxes in, you lose all of it. Oh my gosh, I lost all of my movies. And I had so many that I just kept on there for days, like of the past few weeks dealing with this crap that I was dealing with at work. I like to just come home and watch and just lighten my mind and just watch a Christmas movie to get my spirits up, and all my movies were gone, so now I have to start recording everything. So I am really hoping, I say that because Christmas in July is coming up, and so I'm really hoping that I can re-record a bunch of the Christmas movies that I lost on my DVR, that I can get them back on there so that I can have something to tide me over until the Christmas season starts. So anyway, yeah, that's another pitiful story. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been getting slammed but I'm still standing and I'm still here. Got so much to talk about this week. Got a couple Hallmark movies to talk about. We've got stuff coming up on Netflix. I'm really excited to get into it. But first things first, St. Nick shout outs. As always, I like to start the show with a shout out to the listeners. I still cannot believe that I am 5 seasons in. Can you guys believe I am 5 seasons in? So, I appreciate everyone who listens to the show, who makes time to listen to the show and listen to me yammer on about Christmas movies. I truly hope to be able to get some time so that I can reach out to a couple of screenwriters and interview them for the show. So I do have that on my list of things to do. Maybe later on this summer, I'll start sending out emails. This work is just crazy right now, but I'm hoping to get to them sooner than later. That's just to say there's a lot coming up. Stick with me, but I appreciate the time that you've put in so far. And so now let's get into the 5 listener locations. As I always say, I don't know who you are, but I know where you live. Okay, so the first shout out for this week goes to Chicago, Illinois. Hey, Chicago, that's one of my favorite cities in the whole world. Another one of my favorite cities is number 2 on the list, New York, New York. Thank you so much, New York, for listening in. Number 3, another favorite city, like a lot of favorite cities this week, Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you so much for joining Charleston, South Carolina. Number 4 is Brooklyn, New York. Go ahead, Brooklyn. Thank you for joining the show. And number 5 is Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you for joining the show, Charlotte. All right. Next up, we have ho 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 holiday headlines. This is not just movie news this week. It is Christmas, just Christmas stuff in general, especially this first thing. Okay, so coming out for Christmas is Pictionary with AI. Let me tell you something. That's going to be a gift. That's going to be a gift from me to me, right? So, Pictionary versus AI is the first ever board game to integrate AI technology into physical gameplay. In this twist on the classic Pictionary game, players sketch, but it's the AI that guesses. Oh, can you imagine? Oh my gosh, I am like the worst artist, like graphic artist in the entire world. I mean, if you think you're bad, I am worse. I can't even draw stick people well. It's horrible. So having AI take guesses at mine should be hilarious. Like it should be hilarious. So having the AI guess the drawing correctly isn't the only way to get ahead. Players also earn points by predicting whether the AI will guess the other player's sketches correctly. So the AI can guess, and then you can predict whether the AI will get the drawing correct or not. So I'm really excited about this game. I don't know about you guys. When I saw this, I was like, that is so up my alley. So as you know, Pictionary is less about being a perfect artist, though, and more about the hilarious results. The fun is even more amplified by turning on the challenge rounds within the web app. Players are asked to draw with their eyes closed, using no hands, and more. Oh Lord, let me tell you something, that's gonna be fun. I can't wait to do that. I don't know, like maybe I'll give away one on the show. I get more of you guys emailing me and tweeting me. I'll do that. I'm really excited to see that come out though. Okay. Then the next piece of news I have is that this was this year seems to be the year of ratings, right? Everybody's like really hot for ratings. So there's been this big competition for NFL. This is a big family tradition, by the way, for my family. Like, we always watch football on Christmas. It's just a thing. We all do it. And so this year, the NFL is going to Netflix on Christmas Day. And from what I understand, like the Dallas Cowboys are actually playing on Christmas Day, which is like crazy. Could you imagine seeing a Dallas Cowboy game on Netflix? Anyway, the NFL plans to release its schedule later this month, and that's when fans will find out who they will be cheering with alongside Santa Claus. So exclusivity in the world of streaming is really nothing new in football. Amazon Prime, Peacock, ESPN Plus, Paramount Plus, they've all hosted exclusive games on their streaming services. And other games have been chosen to only be broadcast on NFL networks, right? I watched college, like I got into watching Deion Sanders' team, the Colorado University, the Buffs, the Buffaloes, right? But most of the time, like, I didn't really catch their games on ESPN. I would catch them on whatever streamer, like Peacock or something like that. So streamers are really getting into the NFL game, and they do it because they know that if you have an NFL game, you're going to have great ratings almost always, especially if you get a good pairing. Just like some Hallmark movies. If you get a good pairing, it's going to be great ratings, and the same thing for NFL football. So I'm excited to see what game that Netflix comes up with for the NFL on Christmas Day. A couple more little pieces of news. One is Doctor Who. I don't know if anybody out there watches Doctor Who, but Doctor Who is now on Disney Plus. This current season of Doctor Who, the Black Doctor Who, is on Disney Plus, and it is possible. Now this is wild. This is too wild for my imagination, but it's possible that they're going to have a Christmas special with Doctor Who that might feature baby Jesus. Can you imagine that? The showrunner confirmed Godwa's doctor expressed interest in visiting the Nativity in Bethlehem, saying the adventure would need to be done with respect to what actually happened. I would be all over that show. I'd want to see it. That's like kind of crazy, right? If you think about it. But wow, I would definitely want to see that. That's something to look forward to up around the Christmas season. And then this is another thing to look forward to. So Hallmark cards, the actual people that make the cards, they are going to develop and host the Christmas Experience in Kansas City, Missouri, which is like the home of Hallmark cards, right? Now check this out. Now I, for the past 2 years, have been going to the Hallmark Enchant events, which is basically centered around like a lot of displays of lights, right? Well, apparently the Christmas Experience is bigger and better than the Hallmark Enchant. So the Hallmark Experience is supposed to have like photo ops with Hallmark stars, workshops with Hallmark artists, elevated dining experiences, tire swings, breakfast with Santa, just so much. And it's all supposed to be centered around the family. There's supposed to be a nightly tree lighting with one of the world's tallest Christmas trees, gift wrapping stations, interactive light walks, photo ops, just all kinds of stuff going on. Like, this has got to be a bucket list item for me. I don't know. Maybe I'll fly out there and see it firsthand. I'm really excited. But I hope they have Hallmark Enchant events. I don't know, but if they don't have it, I might have to go to Kansas City to see it. Anyway, so I'm really excited about that. Now, listen, with that comes the Hallmark stars. They're going to have the Hallmark stars. So, they're going to have Hallmark stars at the Christmas con, right? At the Christmas convention. But then the Hallmark Experience is going to have its own stars there. So, let me break down for you when the stars are going to be there. Weekend 1, November 29th to December 1st, the first weekend, Jonathan Bennett, Wes Brown, Cindy Busby, Aaron Cahill, Warren Christie. Oh my God, I love him. Crashing Through the Snow. That's just the most recent thing that I love him in, but I love him in like everything he does. Tyler Hines, of course. Christopher Palaha, of course. Jesse Schramm, one of my favorites. And Ashley Williams. How exciting is that? Okay, then weekend 2, December 6th through the 8th, Benjamin Ayers, BJ Britt, John Brotherton, the Christmas contests. I think it's the last thing he did with Candace Cameron Bure, Paul Campbell, Lacey Chabert, Taylor Cole, Nikki DeLoach, Heather Hammonds. I would love to see her. I would love to see everybody, but I would love to see her because like you don't see her like out and about that often. Gina Claire Mason, Kimberly Susted, and Andrew Walker. Okay, Kimberly Susted, Andrew Walker, and Paul Campbell all on the same day. If you don't know their connection to three wise men and a baby, or three wiser men and a boy, then I feel sorry for you. But anyway, that's probably a weekend that I would be there. Weekend 3, December 13th through the 15th, Pascal Hutton, Aaron Krakow, Viv Leacock. I love Viv Leacock. Kyler Lee, The Way Home. If you don't know her, the star of The Way Home. Crystal Lowe, Annie McDowell, also The Way Home. Kevin McGarry, like When Calls the Heart and Everything Wonderful. Chris McNally, When Calls the Heart and Everything Wonderful. Brendan Penny and Kavon Smith, When Calls the Heart and Everything Wonderful. Then weekend 4, we have December 20th through the 23rd. We have Rachel Boston, Brooke D'Orsay, or Brick Dorsey. I don't know how she says that. Brooke Dorsey. I always say D'Orsay because it has a little, whatever. Brennan Elliott, Amy Garcia, Niall Mater, Barbara Niven, and Victor Webster. Hunka Hunka Burning Love. Okay, so that is the Christmas Experience. You gotta go. It's gonna be all Christmas long from November 29th, which I would think is probably the weekend after Thanksgiving, all the way up to the day before Christmas Eve. And if you're in that area, you're just lucky. If it was me and if it was in my area, I would be going every day it was open. But I think it's open on the weekends, especially, particularly, right? So you go any weekend and meet Hallmark stars and do Hallmark things and have like a Christmassy good time. So hopefully I'll get to go for one weekend. Anyway, moving on. Now it's time for Christmas movie news, stuff coming up, movies coming up for the 2024 Christmas season. So I'm really excited about a few things on this list this week. The first thing is a Hallmark movie. Let me tell you something. I had to do some serious research. You know, I don't know if you guys know, but that was my occupation once upon a time in a previous life. I was a researcher for a living, and I made a pretty good living at being a researcher. So I know how to research stuff, and I was able to find a few little nuggets of information that weren't like easy to find elsewhere. Now you guys may already know about this. Let me feel good about the work that I did and what I found. Okay, please just let me have that. All right. And also today's show shouldn't be as long as the last show. I don't have a movie to talk about today. So it really will be just kind of the preview of the movies coming up for the Christmas season. All right, so the first movie is The 12 Clues of Christmas, a Hallmark movie. It is supposed to be research as found, a Hallmark movie. Now, will it end up somewhere else? I don't know. You know, will it end up being an acquisition that's developed? I don't know. But right now, it says Hallmark on the announcement for this movie. So 12 Clues of Christmas. It is directed by Lucy Guest. Now, I love Lucy Guest. I don't know about if you guys remember her. She was in the, goodness gracious, the Mistletoe Inn. She was the girl. Okay, so Alicia Witt went to the Mistletoe Inn, and she had like an ally at the Mistletoe Inn, and it was Lucy Guest's character, right? So Lucy's been in so many Hallmark movies, but she's usually the best friend. Like, I've never seen her star in anything, and I always say, I wish they would let her star in something. And she was like, honey, I don't care about starring anything. Let me direct. So she's going to be directing the 12 Clues of Christmas. So that makes me just equally more excited to see it. So it's going to be directed by Lucy Guest, and it's going to be written by Tom McCurry and Stephanie Serapis. Okay, now the premise behind the movie is when a kind-hearted teacher is paired with a brash outdoorsman for a Christmas-themed amazing race, they clash while racing across America to complete a series of challenges for a hefty cash prize. Now, amazing, very much Amazing Race. Like, I've seen a few episodes of Amazing Race, and that's what it sounds like to me. So I'm really excited to see this one. The 12 Clues of Christmas. 12 Clues of Christmas, not there's no the on it. It's just 12 Clues of Christmas. All right. The next one is Santa Who. Santa Who with a question mark, right? Santa Who? If I said it properly, right? So I don't know who's going to be starring in this one. I did get some information at the last minute. I thought I didn't know who started, but I think I do have some information. So Rush, Russell Hanline. I'm going to say Hanlon because it looks like it's supposed to be Hanline, but it could be Hainline. All right. Um, Now, you'll know his work. This year, he's going to be directing Hot Frosty, that is on Netflix. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But he also directed The Santa Summit, which was one of my favorite movies from last year. And then In Merry Measure, do you remember that? That had Brendan Penny and Patty Murin, and she was from Broadway. So he directed those movies. Okay, I was right. I don't know the stars. These are the stars from his other movies. All right. So the premise behind this is Overboard meets the Santa Claus. You know, the Santa Claus with Tim, what's his face? You know, the fix-it guy, Tim, whatever. I can't remember his last name. But anyway, at a Santa school, in the weeks leading up to Christmas, Santa Claus makes an unexpected trip south of the North Pole. His sled steers off course and crashes near an acclaimed Santa school. When he wakes up, not remembering who he is, it's assumed that he's exactly where he's supposed to be because Santa has crashed at Santa school. And so as a participant, and he's supposed to be a participant in this intense training program, Santa Claus soon finds himself surrounded by some of the top Santa and Mrs. Claus hopefuls, right? The real Santa at Santa school. When two students start to suspect Santa's true identity, they must work together to restore his memory through a series of courses and activities on how to be a great Santa. The fate of Christmas hinges on Santa Claus remembering who he is and making it back to Christmas on time. I can't wait. Both of these sound like movies that I would put on my DVR and I would watch repeatedly for like ridiculous reasons. Right now, I can tell you Mistletoe Inn and the Santa Summit are on my DVR, one from each of the directors from these movies. So I'm really excited to see what's coming on with that, to see how those two pan out. All right, the next movie I have is A Christmas Less Traveled, and I think this has been in the news everywhere. This is a GAC movie coming in 2024. The plot revolves around a 12-year-old Sunshine Scout who takes it upon herself to find a new romantic partner for her mother. Oh gosh. Her target, the attractive owner of a nearby bakery. Vancouver, the Canadian entertainment hub, has hosted previous Hallmark projects like Hope at Christmas and Love Lights in Hanukkah, right? So Jason Bourque is going to be directing this. Now, Jason Bourque, you'll know his work. He did World Record Christmas, which came out last year. Mrs. Christmas Comes to Town. I want to say that came out last year too. You know, I don't want to talk about it. I think Barbara Niven was in that one though. Game of Love, which had Kimberly Susted in it, and The Honeymoon Pact, right? So I'm really excited to see this one. Those are some good movies. So I expect it to be, I expect this one to be a little more dramatic, maybe than we're used to seeing. But it should be an interesting movie. All right. The next movie I have on my list is The Christmas Crashers. And they pretty much spelled out like the whole movie. I am not going to give you 100% of the details. I'm going to give you the highlights. So The Christmas Crashers basically tells the story of the Skip and Melinda Bartlett, right? Two suburban sweethearts. And while they love Christmas and each other, they don't seem to be able to make time for each other, right? They cannot seem to get it together. They always have things going on. Families, worries, work stuff gets in the way. Lord knows I know about all that because, that's why my schedule's so crazy. So anyway, Melinda decides that their marriage is in trouble, and she tries to get Skip on the program, right? And basically she says, listen, You, me, we spend some time together, and that's it. We're going to take time out. We're going to spend time together. We're going to work on our marriage. And they make the agreement, and they set the time, and they're going to spend some time together. And guess what? A big storm hits, right? So the big storm hits, and the first thing that happens is Skip's ex shows up. She needs a place to stay because their flight was like grounded, and she needed a place to stay. Then her ex shows up. And he's like a Latin lover boy, right? So now there's 2 exes in the house. Then the third nail in the coffin for their like weekend together is Skip's mom decides to show up, right? Oh my gosh. They have a like spirited game of Trivial Pursuit, which basically they clear the air. Like a lot of stuff gets spilled, a lot of truth gets spilled, and now, you know, Melanie and Skip have to kind of find a way to turn what is a crappy holiday into, you know, a holiday for the books. So yeah, that one sounds like a lot of fun, except for I don't know exactly where that is going to be showing. Like, they give a lot of details. They didn't tell where it was going to be. So yeah, I'll be keeping an eye out. Christmas Crashers, I'll be keeping an eye out for where that is. All right, so then there are like 4 movies coming out on Netflix, right? So the first Netflix movie coming out is Hot Frosty, right? I just told you about the director for that one. It stars Lacey Chabert. Now, we're not used to seeing Lacey outside of the, you know, not anymore. Like, she used to be in feature films, right? But as of late, we're not used to seeing her outside of the Hallmark universe. But she is entering into Netflix universe. Now, I hope this is not a harbinger of things to come, right? Lacey Chabert, Dustin Milligan, Craig Robinson, you know who that guy is, right? Joe Lo Truglio, Katie Mixon, Lauren Holly, who, you know, she's starred in a few Hallmark movies, and Chriselle Staus. The synopsis is 2 years after losing her husband, Kathy Chabert magically brings a handsome snowman to life. Through his naivete, the snowman helps Kathy to laugh, feel, and love again as the two fall for each other just in time for the holidays and before he melts. Okay. All right, so the next one is Our Little Secret, coming out sometime in the Christmas season. It stars Lindsay Lohan, who has been a new Netflix favorite. I think this is her 3rd movie for Netflix. Kristen Chenoweth, we love her. Ian Harding, John Rudnitsky, and Tim Meadows. The synopsis is 2 resentful exes, Lohan and Harding, are forced to spend Christmas under the same roof after discovering that their current partners are siblings. Oh, that's crazy. That sounds like fun. All right. The 3rd movie coming out on Netflix is Meet Me Next Christmas. Now, I'm actually really looking forward to this one. It is Christina Milian, Kofi Siriboe. Now, I know Kofi from an OWN series. I can't remember the name of it right now, but he was on OWN. I mean, he's like beautiful. Like, yeah, he's one of the beautiful people. So him and Christina Milian together, that should be a lot of eye candy for men and women alike. Kaylin Allen and the cast of Pentatonics. So that sounds great. Now it's directed by Rusty Cundiff, right? Cundiff. I know his, he directed and starred in the movie Sprung. If you haven't seen Sprung, you probably catch it on some like Stars channel. But that was like a cute rom-com. It's kind of a little over the top, but it was cute. That's where I know him from. And I know he's directed a few other things and a few Christmas movies over the last couple of years. So it's great to see him back at it. But he really does a good rom-com, like in a good clean rom-com. So I'm excited to see what he does with this movie. But anyway, the synopsis is: Meet Me Next Christmas follows the Yuletide journey of Layla Millian, a woman whose pursuit of a fairy tale romance with the man of her dreams leads her on a race against time to secure tickets to the New York City's hottest gig, the sold-out Pentatonix Christmas Eve concert. So that sounds like fun. And then we have movie number 4, which is The Merry Gentleman. Now it stars Chad Michael Murray, who, we love, Britt Robertson, Marla Sokoloff. Now, she has done so many Christmas movies and rom-coms. One of the first movies I kind of learned about her and learned to like her was Christmas in Boston, which it came on the what is now Freeform. So loved her in that, and then have loved her in everything since. And she's done a bunch of Lifetime movies and directed Lifetime movies. So she's acted and directed. So now she is coming back in front of the camera to act in this one. Beth Broderick, Michael Gross, Maxwell Cofield, Hector David Jr., Colt Pratt, and Mark Anthony Samuel. So the synopsis of this movie is: to save her parents' small town performing venue, Ashley Robertson, a former big city dancer, decides to stage an all-male Christmas-themed revue. Now, this sounds like a lot of fun. It also sounds like the 12 Men of Christmas or something. Kristen Chenoweth actually starred in that movie. That was on Lifetime some time ago, but it had a similar calendar theme. And so I'll be interested. Well, it had a calendar theme, and this one is a Christmas review, but it kind of sounds up like it's up the same track, right? So anyway, I look forward to seeing everything that Netflix has to offer this season. I'm excited about that. All right. We have A Sudden Case of Christmas is the next movie up. Follows Danny DeVito's in this movie, right? It's been a while since he's been in something, especially a Christmas movie, right? This movie follows Lawrence, who is Danny DeVito, who runs a grand hotel in the mountains of Italy, where he hosts his extended family for Christmas. However, he's shocked when in August, when his daughter, Lucy DeVito, and her husband bring their 10-year-old daughter, Claire, to visit, only to task him with telling the youngster her parents are getting a divorce. Yikes. When Claire realizes her whole family won't be returning to the hotel in December as a result, she insists they have one last Christmas in the middle of summer, causing her other grandparents, played by Andy McDowell, and Jose Zuniga, while Lawrence and his granddaughter plan activities designed to reunite the divorcing couple and bring the clan back together. So that sounds like a fun movie. I mean, it sounds like a little drama, but also a little bit of fun, right? And then this last movie that I have on my list is The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. This will be released. This is meant to be a feature film that will be released on November 15th, right? Now, it stars one of my favorite people on the planet, Lauren Graham, who, as you may know her, was one of the stars in The Gilmore Girls. She is actually set to star in this comedy. She is one of its executive producers as well. The film is based on the book by the same name by author Barbara Robinson, and follows six misfit children who volunteer to star in their town's Christmas pageant. Graham narrates and later makes an important cameo appearance in the movie. The family comedy also stars Aunt Man's Judy Greer and Peter Holmes of Crashing fame. So I'm very excited. And then, of course, Gilmore Girls is on Netflix, right? You can watch that anytime. Every now and then, I will go back and check out a Gilmore Girls episode. Now, listen, that's pretty much it for my new movie news. But I have to tell you, if you're looking for Christmas movies to watch all year round, there are a bunch of streamers that have a lot of movies that are on and available to watch today. Now, the first and foremost of those for me is HM Now. It is packed with a bunch of Christmas classics, bunch of my classic favorites. I can't even name them all. There's a whole bunch there. Paramount Plus, Christmas movies. Max, Christmas movies. Freevee. If you download the Amazon Prime app, if you don't have the Prime membership, you can go to Amazon Freevee. You just have to watch all the commercials, right? They got a load of Christmas movies on there if you want to see them. Last weekend, I downloaded Pixel, Pixl, right? And guess what? The reason why I did that, because they had one movie that I have been dying to see again, and it used to be a Hallmark movie, and it used to come on the Hallmark channel, and then it used to come on Hallmark Drama, and so I ended up finding it on Pixel, and that is Perfect on Paper. Do you guys remember that movie, Perfect on Paper? Where the character basically, one of her best friends basically says, you got to get this perfect guy, and he's got to look good on paper, but she meets a guy that in real life, is really funny, he's really seems like a good match, but he seems like a beach bum. But it takes her a while to figure that out because she's looking for this perfect guy, the guy who looks perfect on paper, and he's not perfect on paper, but he's certainly perfect in real life. That one came out years ago. I think it came out in 2014, and it's been one of my favorite rom-coms from Hallmark. And I just couldn't believe they didn't have it anymore. So there are a few other movies from Hallmark that I would consider classic rom-coms that are on Pixel, which is one of the reasons why I went ahead and got the subscription. And then they have some actual Hallmark movies, including a recent one, which is Kismet Christmas. And I love that movie. I thought that was really great. So yeah, I think it got a solid 4 Christmas trees or something like that. That was one that I watched one time, I think, and I didn't like it very much. And I watched it a second time and I fell in love with it. It was just weird. But I think it had to do with how much attention I was paying to the movie. Anyway, just to let you know, there's another streamer out there, and it's pretty cheap. It's $1.99, but a lot of rom-coms. I would say most of them look to me, they come from Up TV, but a lot of them come from Hallmark too. So if you want a cheap way to watch some classic rom-com movies, classic rom-com and Christmas rom-coms, download Pixel. I just downloaded that, and I think I'm going to keep it for at least a month till I watch everything. And then I'll see if I don't cancel it after that, but I at least want to see everything now that I have it. Anyway, so I'm excited. I'm excited about the season. I'm excited about everything that's coming out. For the next show, I've been promising my list of top Christmas classics. So I think that's what I'm going to do for my next show. That is going to be in June, right before Christmas in July kicks off. So I'm going to list my maybe top 25 shows, my top 25 classic Christmas movies. These are must-see movies that, came out years ago. They are not in this current run of movies, but they came out years ago. We're talking anything from maybe 2000 to 2014, I'll say, from 2000 to 2014, that came out of Hallmark or Lifetime or whatever, right? So those are my, what I consider to be my Christmas classic movies. The things that when I watch them, it's like Christmas TV Christmas movie season doesn't really begin for me until I watch these movies or I see them. That's why I own a lot of them now because they don't show them on TV all the time. And so now I've bought like a lot of these movies. So I own like DVD upon DVD of Christmas movies. And that's how I get to watch them. But I'm going to make my list for you guys and share them with you. And maybe you share them. And maybe you share a similar like for these movies. And I'm hoping what happens is that, Hallmark, hello, or Lifetime, hello, or whoever out there may be listening that will pick up on some of these movies and that will make sure that they run during the Christmas season. So anyway, I'm excited. And you know what else I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you where you can look at these movies today so that maybe these will tide you over between August and September until we get our fall in love movies, right? Because I love the fall movies. They're like my second favorite next to Countdown to Christmas movies. Anyway, so that's going to do it for today. I know that, that was a long show, but then it's not long at all. Please stay tuned. Much more to come in the month of June as we run up into Christmas in July. And of course, as soon as I know anything about Christmas in July programming, you're going to hear about it here. Thank you to my show music and show editor, Will B. He created all the custom music for this show. He's at Wildcard Music, and you can find his IG page on the show notes below. Until next time, remember, at Chicks on Christmas Flicks, we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review on your favorite platform, and tell your Christmas movie loving friend about this show. Where can you find us? I'm so happy you asked. Podcast platforms including Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, and many more. You can follow Chicks on Christmas Flicks on Twitter at Chicks Christmas Flicks with X's, and on IG at the same address. Chicks Christmas Flicks. Chicks Christmas Flicks. Okay? Thank you for listening in, and we will see you next week. And we will see you really soon.